Hi everybody, welcome back to the Evermore channel. Mark back with another rumour hazard video where we look at players who've been linked to Newcastle United during the transfer window. Now, a little bit different this one. It's more of a player I think that is linked to the club for future windows. Certainly a player who has been rumoured to have been linked with the club in previous transfer window. Certainly going back to January of last season. But has been linked again this window. We're really late in the transfer window now, so I think more than anything, this is one for the future. I can't see another deal like this being done. FFP is an issue. Obviously, in spending upwards of 30-40 million on another player right now, it is just not going to happen. I think there are more needs, but we'll come to that. Before we get started, just a general reminder, obviously we've now reached the 5,000 subscriber mark, so again, thank you very much for that. As we put the video out the other day, there is the Alan Shearer signed photo that you can win in our prize draw on Monday night in What's Going On. The video is live now on the channel. Obviously, Chris's directions on there. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you drop a comment on that video. I'll drop a link to it below. Get yourself involved in that, and we'll do the draw, like I said, on Monday night. And obviously, if you're not subscribed already, please drop a subscribe on. And if you like this sort of video, please, remember to like the video. It helps get it around YouTube and gets others involved too. So we'll crack on. Look at Nico Williams, who is the player that has been linked, and it's a story that's come from iNews and Mark Douglas, I think, is the reporter that sort of put this together. And it is, like we said, very much a player who's been on Newcastle's radar for some time now. He's 21 years old. He's a rising star, and certainly one for the future. He really broke into prominence last season. The season before didn't really have any goal involvements, certainly in La Liga. But last season, 13 goal involvements overall across all competitions, and sort of playing on mostly predominantly on that right hand side. Williams is two-footed. He can play equally. He's equally adept either side. I think one thing that really helps in terms of the link with Newcastle is he does play as sort of a part, or mainly as part of a 4-3-3, where he plays in that wide sort of role. And like I said, it can play either side. He's very, very quick, very, very good on the ball, close control, two-footed, as I say. He can get back into corners and get out of them very, very easily. If one-on-one with a defender, he's got the pace to get past him. He's got the skills to be able to get around him. Put a second defender on him, and there are many, many clips of him being able to jink his way between 2 or 3 defenders. So the lad has plenty of skill to go with his pace, really to be able to get out of situations like that. Likes a cross, will put balls into the box. We'll come to some of those stats in a second. And like I said, last season breakthrough really for him, 9 goals, 4 assists, compares well to Miggy Almiron in that regard, as Miggy had his standout season really of his career in England, with 11 goals and 4 assists. Looking at the comparison chart there, obviously, like I said, Miggy's had his best season in the Newcastle shirt last season, so his goals were really high in terms of his per 90-minute stats. But where I think Williams obviously edges it in terms of this is his ability to get involved with others and provide for others. It obviously is his assists and his expected assists, his key passes, his shot creating actions are all higher than Almiron. I think when you're looking to provide goal opportunities for the likes of Wilson and Isak, I think somebody like that would be ideal. As I say, we'll go back to the fact that this is not, I think, and as Mark Douglas mentioned, that it's not one for now. This is very much probably next window or in the summer. Going on to the rest of the stats for Williams, I mean, I think the key thing from this is that, it sits very much in the middle ground in terms of goals, shots, that sort of thing. Assists as well at the moment, although those are starting to creep up a little bit, obviously, like we said for last season. But I think key for him is the ability on the ball, the number of take-ons. You're starting to see Maxi sort of levels, getting into those high 90s in terms of the ability on the ball, running with the ball. But I think there's a key difference in this is sort of end product. We're starting to see a lot of that now. You can see through his progressive carries, his progressive carry distance. This is the one at the second bottom. Actually, it's cut off a little bit, so apologies for that. That is into the almost into the 90th percentile. So he does move with the ball a long way, carries the ball into the area a lot, lots of touches in the opposition area and in the attacking third, which is exactly where you want him to be. Like I said, the sort of downside at the moment, there isn't so much the goals, the shots, the creativity side of things right now aren't as high as maybe as you would want them to be. But let's not forget the lad is 21 years old. That will come. He's already shown those signs that he will get to the point of being able to create an awful lot of goals, especially for a striker like Alexander Isak or Callum Wilson, or indeed a Harvey Barnes or an Anthony Gordon coming off the other wing. So there's plenty of promise for this lad going forward. One of the points with Williams is that I think he's just signed a new deal, or very much there's a deal on the table for him. His contract was due to expire at the end of this season, and he does have a 50 million release clause in his contract as well. And I think the key thing with his new deal, if that's to get signed, is that I think that contract, that clause in there is still there. So that leads into the future for some of the bigger clubs, and no disrespect to Athletic Club of Bilbao, that I think that they're all bigger teams that will be fishing around for Nico Williams. That some of the Spanish giants, some of the teams around Europe will be looking at him to fill in sort of hole in their right hand side of an attacking three, particularly. But I think at 50 million, that sets a good level for a player for next summer. I think obviously Miggy will come to or be 30 at that point. We'll see this season whether he has another standout season. I think we're hoping for more of the same from him. He's not gonna stop running. He's not gonna stop getting involved. He's not gonna stop working as hard as we know that he can. But those goals, I guess, from a Newcastle fan perspective, you hope it's not just a purple patch last season and it's gone, and he reverts back to previous seasons. So we'll see. But I think time is ticking on for Miggy, and I think somebody like Nico Williams to be able to come in at the end of the season or going into next season, certainly for that amount of money, I think it is a reasonable fee for somebody who's got a real high upside. So we'll see. Obviously, let us know what you guys think in the comments below about Williams and what you think, whether you think it'll be a good one for Newcastle to explore next summer. Like I say, not for this summer. I do think that Newcastle's dealings are done for this transfer window, unless there's a couple of curveballs that get thrown in. Obviously, we've seen yesterday, that Brian Fraser has now moved on to Southampton on loan for the rest of the season. There's also reports that Jamal Lascelles is considering a move to Besiktas, looking for playing time. That was according to Sky Sports. I think it was Darmesh that suggested that one. And also Luton are exploring a deal potentially for Isaac Hayden as well. So we'll see. Ridiculously, I didn't realise this until we were talking about this in the chat earlier on, that Isaac Hayden has 3 years left on his contract. What on earth was the club doing with some of these contracts for some of those players? They're just absolutely crackers. The money that they're throwing in contracts, these players, they weren't willing to pay transfer fees for a lot of players, but willing to give players massive long-term contracts for no offense to Isaac Hayden. Now, he's served the club well, but at that level, he's an average player with a really long-term contract. It just baffles me. But he looks like he could be moving on soon as well, whether that's a loan deal or a permanent transfer. I get the feeling that might be a loan deal to start with, depending on how Luton do this season. They've obviously lost 3-0 last night to Chelsea. Chelsea looked a little bit more back to their best, which will concern the rest of the top end of the Premier League. But yeah, I think Isaac Hayden going there is probably a good thing for them. Get him back in the Premier League, back Premier League football. And if he does go, obviously, well, I guess every Newcastle fan will wish him well. He's served, like you said, he served the club well. So hopefully he goes and gets some football. So that's me done for today. Obviously, like I said, we always say, let us know what you think in the comments below. Agree, disagree with what we say. That's part of it. You know, we'll always engage with you. And we don't mind having a difference of opinion, that's for sure. As I said at the beginning, if you're not already subscribed, please drop a subscribe onto the channel. As Chris would say, there's plenty of room for everybody in here. You know, we are growing bigger and bigger, and it's fantastic. We can't thank you enough for all the support we've had. So thank you very much again. Reminder, get your comments in on the 5K prize giveaway video as well, and you'll enter the draw that we'll do that on Monday night on what's going on. So yeah, thanks very much, guys, and we'll see you later. Bye.